My braai is not complete without Bovril. And now for my special Bovril Chakalaka. And these are ingredients for our Bovril Chakalaka. We've got baked beans, grated carrots, chopped up onions, peppers, grated tomato, red chilies, tomato paste, mild curry powder, turmeric, and we've also got paprika and our special secret ingredient, Bovril, for that bold, meaty taste. Okay, what we're gonna do first is get the stoves going, and we're gonna heat up our pot and get it all nicely heated. The first things that go in would be your hard vegetables, and in this case, it'll be your onion and your carrots first. So we start with putting a little bit of oil into our pan. It's always better to heat up your pan first. Then it gives you an idea of how much oil you've put in, because oil expands upon heat, and a teaspoon automatically becomes a tablespoon because of the expansion based on the heat. So it's always better to put oil in a hot pan before you start cooking. Otherwise, you're gonna have oil suspended over your chakalaka, and we don't want that. Okay, so now we've got our onions, which we're gonna start with. And then we're gonna saute that. And we're also gonna add in our carrots at this stage, because they also take quite a while to soften up and get blended into the beginning stages of the sauce. So you wanna cook this until your onions are softer and start becoming translucent, meaning clearer and not as white as they are. So when you're braaiing in South Africa, if you don't have chakalaka on the menu, then there's a problem. Chakalaka is one of our favorite relishes that we do, which you can include with anything, but especially for braais, and especially around springtime when everybody's outside and you're going to be grilling your meat over the coals or over the flames. You would want this as a relish. It goes very well with your meats, with your breads, with your Sunday course, with basically anything except for dessert. But chakalaka is our go-to relish in South Africa, and there are 1,001 ideas or recipes for chakalaka depending on where you are and what you prefer. Some add green beans and other things that they would love in their chakalaka, but this is the one that you have to go for because it packs a lot of flavor and it's special. It's got that bold, meaty flavor from Bovril. Okay, so our onions are softening up, and also the carrots. And now we're gonna add in some tomato paste. Combine all of that in. Mix it until it starts cooking the tomato paste. But that's just to enhance the tomato flavor. We're still gonna add fresh tomatoes, but this gives a little bit of sweetness to the dish, which is what you want. A little bit of heat, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of crunch from the vegetables. And that gives you a great sensation, and it pairs well with your flame grilled meats. Now that we've got all of this in, all our dry ingredients go in. Our mild curry powder goes in first. We're gonna add in some turmeric to this, and also some paprika. It gives it a bright red color, but also enhances those flavors of peppers into this dish. You constantly have to be mixing and stirring this so that nothing gets stuck to the bottom of the pan, that it burns. So turning it and mixing it always helps to get everything cooked evenly. And then the next thing we're gonna add in our peppers. Our peppers also introduce a little bit of crunch to the final dish, but also a mild flavor of peppers. Not too hot, but yes, we are gonna add some chilies to give that, bite and spice. But we also need the sweetness coming through. Then we're gonna add in our grated tomatoes for that fresh tomato flavor. Now all of this is coming together nicely, and as you can see, the bottom of the pan is still nice and clean. All of those flavors that had stuck to the bottom have been reintroduced into the dish. And now it's time to add our special ingredient that gives it that meaty, bold flavor. There's a trick to pouring this. You pour and twist. All nice and clean, and the bottle is still, clean at the top. That we mix everything in, and you're gonna see a slight change of color, but that's just flavor mixing in with all of these ingredients that we've been sauteing so far. But this, you get that meaty flavor, and especially the fact that it's gonna go with flame grilled meats. This is a perfect relish for our braai. Everything is softening up really nicely, and now is the time to introduce the heat, which is in the form of chopped red chilies. I mean, you can use green chilies if you like, but I like it more spicy. If you're gonna add chilies to something, let it be spicy, let it be hot. And it's fairly a quick dish to make. Like I said, you have to keep on stirring like you stir frying, but this is to make sure that all of those flavors combine very well. And like I said, we don't want anything stuck to the pot or burn because you just left it there. So constant stirring is a must. The ingredients have mixed in properly now, with the peppers now softening up a bit, the chilies getting in there, and the flavors combining very well. The last two steps that we're gonna do is add the baked beans, which is key to chakalaka. Baked beans also introduce a lot of sweetness from the tomato sauce. And the last thing that we're gonna add is some seasoning, salt and pepper as usual, very important, and a couple of grinds of black pepper. We're gonna combine this, and we're gonna let it simmer for about 5 minutes, and it should be ready at very low heat so we don't burn anything, just so that everything combines well. Now all the ingredients have combined very well. The beans are in there, the sweetness, the flavors, the heat from the chilies. Now we're gonna let it simmer, and then we're gonna switch off the heat and wait for the meat to get ready on the braai.